Okay, people, today we're going to talk about Syria. Okay, Syria. Now you're asking why are we talking about it? Yes, we're talking about Syria because what's happening in Syria right now is going to determine in parts what's going to happen in your world. Life doesn't just stop in Kisumu, you know that, or in KwaZulu-Natal, or somewhere in Oga or Aba region, or in Accra. No, you need to understand what's happening. The bottom line is, fellas, we are intertwined whether you like it or not. I know you don't like some people of Africa and some other place, and it's fine. You can continue not liking them, but that will not stop us from being intertwined. We are intertwined. So the better we are informed about what's happening in the world, the more we're going to be equipped. Trust me. There was somebody saying to me the other day, saying, the South African passport are now bad because all the foreigners marrying South Africans, getting the South African passport, not traveling illegally to other countries and doing bad things. That's the reason why now South Africans need visas. Because, let me remind you, a while back, South Africans did not need visas to the UK. They didn't need visa to Ireland, no visas to Canada. You could just buy a ticket and fly. Now you can't do that anymore. Now you have to wait for visas. And some people were complaining, saying, well, it's because of the, I'm not going to name them. They marry our girls and they waste our passports. Well, it's in partly truth, but there's something about that. That was just an excuse. Let me tell you what the real issue is. The real issue is you had access because then white people ran the country. Yes, the country was ran by white people. They were in control, so it was okay. The cousins, they can let them come in. Now you are in power. You are not welcome. You are just like everybody else. I'm just being honest with you. The reason why the visas are now imposed, it's not just because of the friend from West Africa that are doing bad things. You need to find an excuse to implement something. Just like some people found an excuse on some people unaliving children to say, okay, no more foreigners doing this. It's an excuse. People find excuses. The excuse was, okay, we see that many people from other countries are using your passport to go to a different country and doing bad things. But the bottom line is we actually wanted you to wear visas because your country is not guided by our people anymore. Okay, let's get back on track. We are in Syria. We're going to try to make it very quick because I know not everybody's interested. But I know we need to know this, okay? You don't have to love me, but you just need to tolerate me. That's what I'm asking you, okay? You're probably going to like me. No doubt about that. Let's go. So in Syria, something has happened. Bashar al-Assad, this guy who used to rule the country, and his family ruled the country for 50 years. Yes, before him was his dad. People think it's only Africans that do that, like in Gabon. Yeah, this guy and his father ruled the country for 50 years. And obviously, in 50 years, people are tired of you. They want change. And they were supported by Russia, especially him. Because Russia had not been there, he would have been toppled long ago. Well, unfortunately, a few days ago, it's over. He's now gone. He's asked asylum in Russia, and he's taken a lot of money with him. About $160 billion he's taken with him to Russia. Initially, Russia and Iran tried to protect him, but they came to a conclusion that it was not worth it anymore. And a new force has come into power. These are rebels that have been fighting him for a long time. They've now taken the government. We're going to try to find out what's happening now. I want you to understand, relationships are never for free. Okay, relationships always bear interest. Why was Russia friends to Syria? Well, one of the reasons because Syria is a good friend. The second reason is because Russia has 2 military bases in Syria. Here's the military base. The first one's name is Tartus. Here's a map. As you can see, Tartus is a naval base that's hosted Russian warships and submarines from Russia. Why was Tartus important? As you can see on the map, Tartus is very close to the Mediterranean Sea. This is Russia, the map. It's big, but they don't have many entrances to the sea next to Europe. Obviously, there's water in the north, but those waters are very, very crazy. The only entry they had to Mediterranean or Europe straight was from Syria. And Syria is a good friend. So Russia had interest to keep Syrian government into power. The second base is named Hemen. Here's Hemen. Here's the base. It's the military base with an airport. Many of the Russian airplanes were here. Why? Because Russia utilized that base for its activity in the Middle East and its activity in Africa. Russia is very present right now in Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Sudan. So therefore, Russia needs somewhere. They need a point, a linking point where they can deliver whatever they need to deliver quicker. America has many bases all across the world, over 800 bases. Russia has you can count with the fingers, including this is the only base they have very close to Europe. So if they have to intimidate Europe or to show their presence, these two are the only bases they have. Now, the second base, he means is very important for Russia to help Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. You know, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali need help from Russia right now. Therefore, Russia had the interest to take care of Bashar al-Assad and help him stay in power. However, things have changed now. The rebels have come in and they have taken over, but the rebels have not attacked Russia's military base or asset. Okay? They have kicked out Bashar al-Assad. He's gone. He's protected by Russia, but the rebels have not dared touch anything that belongs to Russia. But on the other hand, the rebels have destroyed Iran's embassy. Let me remind you here that Iran and Russia were the two powers helping to keep Bashar al-Assad in power. Iran used Hezbollah as combatant to protect Bashar al-Assad's power. The rebel has destroyed Iran's embassy, but they have not dared to touch the Russians. Why was that? Is it because the Russians are a very powerful country? They will create mayhem if they are attacked. Or is it because there are unspoken agreements happening right now? Now, what we know is Russia and the rebels are negotiating in seeing whether they're going to keep their bases, military bases, in place. Now, who is this guy? Who is the new guy in power? The new Syrian rebel that's taking over. He was born in 1982. This man has a reputation. In matter of fact, apparently he's a terror. I'm not going to finish the sentence. And he was supported by Americans to topple Bashar al-Assad. But let's see who this person is. He was born in Syria in 1982. So he is 42 years old. He joined other foreign fighters in Iraq after 2023 US-led invasion and was detained by American military according to Associated Press. So the man went to Iraq to fight against America and he was detained by Americans at that time. For some reason, they did not unalive him, and when Syria's civil war erupted in 2011, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, leader of the Islamic State, sent Jolani is this man, to Syria to establish Al-Nusra Front, branch of Al-Qaeda. So, as you can see, this man was a terror. Yeah, he was one of them. Yeah, and Americans say they don't talk to terrorists. This is just crazy. You know, I mean, when it's other people, we don't talk to them, but when it's one of us, for our interest, it's fine. Now, later on, Jolani eventually broke up with the group of the terror and rebranded his organization as Tahrir al-Shamad. Okay, fellas, let's not get into deep, this is just crazy. The bottom line is the man was a terror. You get what I'm saying? But he decided to change because he felt like he wanted to be moderate. He used to be extremist, but he decided to change. Now he's entered Damascus, the capital of Syria, and many people are fearful of what he's going to do. After a couple of days, he had a meeting, which is very promising. He had a meeting with religious leaders. We all know that those people, usually they will unalive anybody that does not belong in their God, their version of beliefs. They will unalive all of that. But he did not do that. He called the pastors and ecclesiastic communities to sit together to have a talk and discuss. And he also promised to respect other people's tradition. He also promised not to change the curriculum in schools to keep boys and girls studying together. So you can see the man has come with something more tolerant. Now, the question is this. Is this his true nature, or he's just giving a face to see how the international community will react to him, for the world to be more tolerant to him until later on? Now, that's a good question because Australians don't believe in him. They don't believe that he's really a genuine, liberated person. They feel like he's trying to play his card well until the time comes, then he's going to react the way they would normally do. So let me remind you, fellas, Bashar al-Assad left the country. He went to Russia. That's where he's going to stay forever, I guess. Now, he didn't go empty-handed, trust me. No. I'm sure they had a discussion and said, listen, brother, we can't protect you anymore. You need to get out. And what he did is he transferred about $160 billion to Russia before he left for Russia. 160 billion. I mean, 1 billion, 2 billion, 3, 100. Crazy. That's the money he sent. He's nicely, he's probably going to live a very good life for the rest of his life. Now, Russia has come up with a proposal to this group of people because they need to keep these bases that's helped them to have a face in Europe. They need to keep that base that helped them to have a face in Africa. Russia says, we are going, number one, to help you. With number one, we're going to bring back the assets that Assad brought into our country. He says most of the assets are probably going to leave us, give him, let's say, 160 billion, probably going to leave him with 10 billion for the rest of his life and bring 150 billion back to Syria. That's number one. Number two, we're going to arm you guys. Why arm them? Because The Israelis went into Syria and used 250 operations to bombard all the weapons that the Syrian army used to have. Yes, they seized this opportunity when mayhem is happening and they destroyed all the defense system, all the magazines, all the depots. They destroyed the entire army of this country, which is completely unacceptable as per international community. You can't go to a country that you're not at war with and destroy their weapons. They said they did that because they did not want to leave those weapons to people that are not nice.
I hereby warn the rebel leaders in Syria, whoever follows Assad's path will end up like Assad. We will not allow an extremist Islamic terrorist entity to act against Israel across its borders and at the risk of its citizens. We will do whatever is necessary to remove that threat.
Now, who are they to judge who's nice, who's not? Now, Russia has promised we're going to give you the weapons that you need as a country and give you some of the asset that was brought here, provided you leave us an opportunity to stay there on our naval base that faces Europe. In case Europe plays with us, we can bomb them, or at least we can threaten them, and the base that helps us oversee what's happening in Africa and quick operation. Is this a good move? Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. Like I told you, we are intertwined, brothers. If you don't know what's happening out there, you don't know what's happening here. Life is not just Kisumu. Life is not just Mombasa or, it's not just Lagos or KwaZulu. Okay, God bless.